Hey guys, welcome back to Choosing Recovery. I'm Olivia.
I'm Scott. Hey.
Today we have a great story from Dallin, so let's go ahead and jump on into it.
Zoom into it. So, what was your drug or drugs of choices if you had multiple, and at what age did you start using any substance?
So, any substance.
Any substance.
Well, I initially, when I was about 16, I actually first, because I just wanted to experiment when I was a kid. I grew up very religious, so I wanted to get out of that, you know?
Yeah.
Because rebellion in general.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, exactly. So I actually, the first thing I ever did was NyQuil, which was kind of crazy. Not the best thing to start with, but, and then progressed into pills, and then, you know, progressed further and further. But my main drug of choice were heroin, meth, and bath salts.
And how long did you use for total?
I was trying to figure that out actually. It's kind of hard to remember, honestly. It's kind of a little bit cloudy, especially during those years, like when I first started and everything like that. But I would say probably about 3 to 4 years.
What did your addiction affect?
At the time, I did not see that it affected anybody. I didn't see anybody being hurt by it. I was like, I saw me being hurt by it, but I was in a very, self-detrimating, I guess, mindset. So I didn't really care that it hurt me. Like, I knew it hurt me, but I was like, yeah, but I probably won't be long enough for it to really matter that much. Like, it's not that big of a deal. So, like, it doesn't matter as long as, you know, I'm keeping things quiet from everybody else, as long as no one else knows what I'm doing, you know.
Wow.
And then, obviously, you know, when I initially got clean and I started to get only recently did I even start getting, like, all of my emotions and thoughts and feelings and everything back, and it's definitely been overwhelming. But it wasn't until then that I was able to be like, damn, like, I hurt a lot of people. I ruined a lot of relationships.
What led you to get clean?
Initially, really, like, I hated the drug. I was so frustrated with myself that I couldn't stop, because I would see, like I had very close friends that I had that all passed away one at a time.
Yep.
And then one of my best friends passed away of a, you know, overdose. And
sorry for your loss.
I still kept using because that was me, and I didn't, you know, I was in that kind of mindset. And it wasn't until I really, really, like, I took a step back and I kind of just looked at the situation with nobody around. My family was in a different country, and my other best friend that I was hanging out with at the time was in jail. So I was all by myself, and I was just sitting there, and I was like, I don't want to, like, I saw myself in the future almost, you know.
Wow.
Like, I saw what I was going to become, and it was going to be a very short future. And I remember I was looking at a picture of my nephew that I was holding him, and I, like, pictured myself disappearing from the picture and him growing up without me, and my whole family living their lives without me. And then I was like, I just got to do this. I just got to do this and take care of this. And so yeah, it was just the realization that, you know, I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah.
Hating the drug enough to finally say no.
In my recovery, like, I realized that I loved a drug that didn't love me back. And that blew my mind. I was like, wait, I'm doing all of this for something that, like, I need and love, and it doesn't even have emotional being.
I was just saying, that's so inspiring, man, because loneliness was one of my biggest fears. And it's a scary place, and to see that, like, you had your eye opener at that point in time in your life, and you actually progressed from there.
And, like, that wasn't my first time, you know, being alone and deciding like that. It took me so many times to actually do it. You know, like, it is not a one thing.
Yep.
Like, you know, it's not like, oh, I'm just gonna be done. Like, it takes so much more than that.
If only it was that easy.
Crazy, because I was so mad at so many things. Like, I was just so frustrated and pissed off. And then I realized, like, everything that I'm angry about leads back to one drug, leads back to one thing, you know. And then that's when all of my anger got pointed towards it, and I was like, I hate this thing more than I want to do it, for sure.
How are you staying clean today?
That was a hard one. I have I mean, I have pretty bad depression. I have pretty bad anxiety, ADHD, and I can't, like, my brain just goes nuts all the time, basically, so it's hard to kind of slow it down sometimes. So the best thing that I've, like, you know, especially at the beginning, to stay clean for me, I very much focused on my passions and what I wanted to do. So when I initially got clean, I had the goal, you know, of like, I'm gonna start like focusing on what I want to do for this world and what I want to like accomplish, you know. And so I just put all of my, like, I guess, addictive personality into working towards my goals and different things like that. I know it probably sounds weird.
It doesn't.
Not at all.
Me saying
It does not.
I was able to just kind of put all of that energy towards doing other things, and there was, I mean, for the first 3 years, I did not feel happiness, like, at all. Like, I just couldn't, my brain couldn't feel happiness or excitement. And then after, I think it was like even a specific day, like, I remember I just bawled the whole day long because I just, like, I just couldn't stop crying because I started feeling things more.
Yeah.
And, like, even today, like, I can't even watch emotional movies without crying.
And a lot of people do state, like, taking that energy of how much energy we put into using and taking that same amount of energy and willpower and turning that towards sobriety and doing successful things will make you successful. That's what that same personality that brought you to those bad places are the things that will push you to the places you never expected to be.
Exactly.
And that's that's absolutely amazing.
Because your addiction makes you think of it 24/7 nonstop, and you're constantly being motivated towards that addiction. If you change it to something else, then every second for me, I am thinking about different videos I can make, how much content I can do, what I can add to stream, what I can add to this, like. And even like if I'm talking, like, which is also an issue because sometimes I'll be talking and then I'll just be like, oh, what's something else? Oh wait, but yeah, like, it's just keeping my brain busy on being productive, and when it goes down to the non-productive side, being able to reset it properly and healthily, in a healthy way, I guess. The world of recovering addicts, or the world of people that want to recover in general, I feel like is super introvert. So they don't want to go out and do anything ever. So the fact that it's going to be online, you know, you guys have these things, it's going to be really more, you know, available to them. And I really think I'll be able to help more, just because, I mean, if I, you know, when I was doing it and I was trying to just like have the motivation to stop, if I could just click on a video and watch someone and get like the advice that I'm looking for, like, that's everything for sure. And no one ever, like, that's the thing is, I mean, at least for me, like, no one showed me how to stop. No one showed me how to do anything. Like even trying to go to like treatment, they were like, do this, do that, you know, and do pray and stuff. And it's like I gotta figure it out for me, you know.
Yes.
I can't talk to you guys all about stuff that you're going through. I need to figure out what I'm going. I don't even know what I'm going through. Like,
Yeah.
You can't help anyone else out if you can't help yourself.
Exactly.
You know, that's
which is a hard realization to come
And
to,
everyone,
especially when you're in that kind of world.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And everyone does have their own recovery, and we preach that from the mountaintops, because what works for me won't work for you, and what works for you probably won't work for me, and that's recovery. That's okay. We're supposed to be individualized, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's.
I never want to say or tell anybody how not to recover.
Exactly.
Like, I don't have the knowledge to say that, you know. I can say how I did it, but I can't say how I didn't do it. And that's actually why I posted the video that I posted, because I've never been open about anything. Like, I very much keep everything inside, you know. But I mean, after losing a lot of people that I care about and not being able to, you know, do anything aside from being like, oh, I wish I would have talked to them, you know, wish I would have been there more for them, like. Then it's just been like, well, why don't I just talk more now? Like, why don't I be more open now, so that
good for you, man.
For other people's friends. You know?
What's your biggest accomplishment in your recovery so far?
Probably getting to know myself and being able to take my passions and goals and set them into something that I can actually do in the world. And Yeah, because for most of my life growing up and stuff, I was like super into sports, crazy into sports like crazy. But I ended up kind of falling away from it. But and my dad pushed me towards sports a lot, you know, and I love sports in general, but I couldn't I don't know, I couldn't stick with it, you know, I couldn't stick with it. I was very into it, but I couldn't stick with it. And I couldn't figure out what I wanted, you know, what my passion, what I wanted to do in this world. Like, I didn't want to be a professional sports player, but I didn't know. I was like, that's the only thing I've ever wanted to be. I don't know what I want to do now.
Yeah.
And, you know, then I went through all the shit and everything. And then after I got, you know, clean, started to get to know myself a little bit more. And then I'm like, I know what I want to be. Like, I wanted to be the same thing since I was a kid. Like, I just want to help people. Like, I just want to make people smile and make people's lives easier. That's what I've wanted to do ever since I was a kid. Why don't I just do that? And it just kind of was like a lot more clear for me. So probably just getting to know myself and being more confident in being myself.
I know from experience, it's not hard to go back out and use. You can lose everything in the blink of an eye. Getting sober and clean is the hardest thing in the world. It is, that decision. But
that's why our channel means so much to us, because like you said, it's now in the palm of people's hands, you know, and everyone's recovery is different. So if that's what gets them through until they can find themselves and see where more things can help guide them into recovery or sobriety, that's huge. That's what we want. So
would you change anything knowing what you know now?
I've thought about it a lot, and I don't think I would. I don't think I would, because, I mean, yeah, I've lost a lot of friends, but I can't look back at it and think I wish I would have helped, because they were on the path that they were on, and there's nothing I could have done to change that. And I could look back and say, hey, I wish I wouldn't have started, but then I wouldn't know myself the way that I do today. I could, you know, look back and say, hey, I wish I wouldn't have done that much, you know, gone that far into it, but I would not have the same confidence in myself that I have today if I were to take back any of my decisions. So I wouldn't take back anything.
The knowledge that we have now, you couldn't buy it.
Yeah.
You couldn't buy it. It's a powerful thing.
I really think that, you know, I mean, with the knowledge that you guys have too, you know, like, I really feel like it can help a lot of people.
Yeah.
And especially now when, you know, in the US, when, yeah, there's obviously COVID epidemic, but for a long time there's been an opiate epidemic.
Yeah, absolutely.
So millions and millions of people in America and all over the world that have this kind of issue. You know, this is a major outlet for them.
If you could say something to someone who is still actively using, what would you say to that person?
That's hard, because everybody's addiction is totally different. So like, I can't come out with a blanket statement that I think, you know, would really help. But the thing that helped me, I heard a couple quotes when I was first getting clean. One of them that really stuck with me was, you have to hate the drug more than your body wants it.
Yeah.
And your passion for the hate has to be stronger than everything else.
Yeah.
Like, and that's how it was for me, at least. Like, I had to hate it so badly. And then also the other thing is, you know, if you're trying to get clean, if you're trying to quit, then take care of yourself when you do it. Make sure you eat, make sure you sleep, make sure you drink, make sure you take care of yourself, because if your body's happy, then recovery will be easier.
Absolutely.
It's easy, because it's never going to be easy. But if your body is taken care of, then you'll want to take care of it better, and you won't want to go back.
If you could say something to a family member of someone that struggles with addiction, what would you say to that family member?
Again, everybody's totally different, but the way that I see it is, the only reason why I was able to get clean the way that I did was because my family never stopped loving me no matter what. So I would probably say the best advice I could do is never give up and never stop loving, because once we know we don't have anybody that cares about us, then it gets a little bit more confusing, I guess, if that makes sense.
It does.
Once we know that, you know, once we know you don't care anymore, we already don't care, if that makes sense. You know?
Yeah.
I don't mean to be blunt, but
It's true.
So just never stop loving. never stop loving.
Love is
They're always
huge.
going to be worth it. I would say that, you know, whatever your reason for using is, and whether you think you have one or not, you do. Whatever your reason for using is, it's worth working through, because when you go through what you're going through, and when your brain gets that low, when your soul gets that low, it helps you grow a lot as a person. If you let that drag you down and you don't help and try to change and try to, you know, offer what you can to the world.
Absolutely.
It's our experiences that make us, you know.
Yeah.
Some of us don't know how to go through those experiences. We don't know how to feel certain emotions.
Yeah.
And that's why we resort to something that masks those emotions, and they let us get through that period for a time being until it gets worse again. And then we just keep self-medicating, you know, until that doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
It has to, like you said, you know, once you got to hate the drug more than your body wants it. That made so much sense to me.
Yeah, at least for me, I was definitely using for a reason. Initially, it started out me being just like, I wanted to experiment, and then it turned into like, no, I'm hiding from trauma. I'm hiding from a lot of the stuff that I've been through. Like, I don't want to deal with my problems.
Absolutely.
And this is my way of not dealing with any problem that I have to deal with at all. You know, like this is my way of just completely hiding from the world. That's why my main drug of choice for sure was definitely heroin, because that's the one that I was like, okay, everybody else, I'm leaving, like, I'm out. I'm done for the night. I don't want to talk to anybody else, like. And that was just like, it would, you know, that was my way of just escaping everything, because I didn't, with the depression and mental health issues that I was dealing with, I didn't think that, you know, I could just exist. You know, I didn't think that I had the right to do it. I didn't think that I should, because like you know, at the time it was me being in the mindset of, I don't deserve any of this. I don't deserve this family. I don't deserve this life. I don't even deserve food, like clothes. That's how I felt. I don't deserve anything. I should just live on my own and not hurt anybody. Like, I should just be by myself. And that's how that's when I secluded myself and really got into the addiction itself, and really forced myself into, you know, I don't want anybody to love me. I don't want anyone to love me. I want to just deal with my own stuff by myself. And that in turn broke me and ripped me apart in so many different directions. And it wasn't until I, you know, took a step back and just saw like my soul shattered everywhere, like just pieces and fragments, and being like, holy shit, like, I did that? Like, how do I even put this back? Like, what am I even supposed to do? Like, how? And like, again, no one gave me the answers. No one said, this is how. No one said, this is one way that'll help. Everyone was just like, good luck. Hope you can make it through, you know? Like, I'm rooting for you for sure. And that's when, you know, I'm staring at all these pieces, and I'm like, you know what? I can take the time. I can take the time to look at this and really look at the first piece. Look at the first piece, and once I find the first piece, then I can figure out maybe what are these other pieces, you know, one of these other ones will fit with this one, I guess, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it took me, I'm at 5 years now, and I am just starting to get my confidence in everything and what I'm doing, and feel like my relationships in my life are positive enough that I don't have to regret and feel just horrible about how I'm treating people. Like, now I can be happy about the people that are around me because they love me, because I love them, rather than them feeling bad for me because I'm struggling.
Said you weren't inspirational.
Yeah, I know.
I don't see myself as inspirational. I just see myself
as you.
Yeah, I'm just me.
You're you.
I'm just me.
And that's inspirational. You know?
Oh, yeah.
That's inspirational.
Well, I appreciate it.
You know,
I honestly do.
you can see the change in yourself, that's when it hits. Because other people can see it, but you need to see it in yourself.
It's weird. I don't know if it was the same for you. I've heard this is kind of the same for a few other people, but like for me, especially going through it, probably from beginning, from when I first started, I probably was in control during that time, and then I just felt like I was watching like a TV version of myself, and then
scary.
I just recently like turned the TV off and was like, whoa.
We love it, and other people love to be a part of it, and I refuse to do anything in my life that I don't love. I refuse to work a job that I am miserable at. I've gained myself back, and I've worked too hard to go put myself somewhere that's going to make me move backwards instead of forwards.
Right.
That's
awesome.
It is.
With how close we've come to, not being here. It's I think it's our right to only do what we love.
Absolutely.
I love that. See, you are inspirational.
My name is Dallin. I am 5 years clean.
Yes.
Woo!
And today, I am grateful for the ability to grow.